What a life Ralph Kiner lived. 10 years on the field, 53 in the broadcast booth. He searched for Japanese submarines during World War II, dated the likes of Janet Leigh and Elizabeth Taylor, had 5 children, 12 grandchildren, and of course was a baseball Hall of Famer.
He was a strong but gentle man. He had an easy way about him. He was the kind of person who you were always comfortable in the presence of, despite the fact that he was a towering giant of his generation.
One of the greatest joys in my life is that he would do games with the Mets, and I would come into the booth and he would be there sitting there, and I would just listen. I wouldn't talk too much, and just listen to all the great stories he had about playing baseball in the 40s and 50s, and he surely will be missed.
The minute you thought of the Mets, you thought of Ralph and being an original Met and the way he carried himself and represented the team. And it was just, when the Mets came to town, at least for a visiting player, and we knew, we saw Ralph, we knew the Mets were here. And same thing when I got to the Mets. I mean, it was the first thing I had to do, when I got an opportunity to see him, is say hi.
Ralph entered the Mets broadcast booth in the franchise's first season, joining Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy.
It was the charm of Lindsey and Bob and Ralph that really made them endeared to the public in New York, baseball fans, and whether they were Mets fans or Yankee fans, I think everybody just loved the combination. They were a great trio.
The trio disbanded after the 1978 season. Where Ralph also shined was with his own program, Kiner's Corner, a show so respected by fans and players alike.
It wasn't sort of a put-on show about Ralph Kiner. He had no ego. I just remember if you had a good game and Jay come up and said, "Hey, Ralph wants to talk to you," it was like, okay, now I had a good game.
Ralph hit 369 home runs in his career, 301 with the Pirates. From 1947 to 1951, he had home run totals of 51, 40, 54, 47, and 42, becoming only the second player in history, Babe Ruth was the first, to hit at least 40 home runs in 5 consecutive seasons. Upon hearing of his death, Vin Scully described his friend as possessing, quote, "a loud bat with a soft voice." I'm Stephanie Cohen for Recapr. Get the whole story here.